solution-oriented thinking is not actually the way to get to anything creative. The second we're solving a problem, we've shut down the creative capacities.
Welcome to my podcast, Notes to My Nervous System. This isn't just another wellness podcast. It's where science meets real life, where your brain and body can finally make sense together. Sometimes recovery isn't about speed, it's about endurance. My guest, Reverend Sarah Wilcox, has been on the front lines of rebuilding after Hurricane Helene here in Western North Carolina, showing us what it really takes to lead with courage, compassion, and creativity when everything feels uncertain. This is resilience in real time. Let's dive in. Please introduce yourself. I know there's so much, you do so much in our community, and you have so many hats and so many roles.
Thanks, Erin. My name is the Reverend Sarah Wilcox. I'm pastor of Land of the Sky United Church of Christ. I am also so-and-so's mom, so-and-so's wife, and another so-and-so's mom. I am the friend and emotional support person for our dog, Karma, who's currently in my office, so may need me to help her reset her nervous system at any moment.
If you hear, will you take a pause?
Here we go, right? And then I am connected to the long-term recovery group here in Buncombe County that seeks to leave no one behind, really to organize and create solutions for people impacted by Helene. I served on the interim steering council that helped seat the first steering council, and then kind of moved back to the emotional and spiritual support team and meet with them regularly and work on ways to be a resource for different events that are taking place in our community to ensure they have wraparound care with emotional and spiritual support.
What does it look like on a daily basis? Because well, first of all, I never thought there'd be a hurricane in the mountains in North Carolina, not near the coast. And when I thought of hurricanes, it's more like, Florida or Katrina. It seemed so far off. And also, it didn't seem like it was super long, right? Like it would be in the news for maybe a month at the most, and then all of a sudden something else. And it never occurred to me how ridiculously long it can take to work towards recovery. I mean, the year anniversary is coming up. I I don't feel like we're much closer, honestly.
Yeah, I think the steps are small. One of the things we learned just post Helene when we started coordinating the long-term recovery group is that recovery from an event like this takes approximately 10 years.
I had no idea it could take that long. Not until we got into all this work.
I
10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think about how much change in the next 10 years, and then just in my own personal life, as a mom who has two teens, as someone who cares, kind of sandwich generation, right? Has adult parents who live nearby and are we don't. I mean, they live independently, but that will shift.
10
Things will
years,
change.
a lot is gonna change for you. So do you want to add on recovery as well?
Well, I think if
Or
we,
how it
um,
looks?
yeah, I think if we put put in perspective, right?
Mhm.
The evolution of how things change instead of the kind of like the urgency,
Mm.
right? I mean, I think there's an urgency for people who don't have a place to live, or people
Oh, yeah.
who lost their jobs, or right, like there were shifts that took place because of Helene that created some urgency. I think long-term recovery shifts out of urgency and is an attempt to move into the sort of everyday reality of not yet restored and working towards it. And that is a goal that if enough of us continue to put our weight on that and put our energy into it, we'll get closer and closer to. My hope
Do
is
you
that we go ahead. Sorry.
don't mind me, I interrupt my ADHD brain. Do you feel like there's a way to actually, I don't want to say like, oh, there's a way to turn it into good or something like that, but this awful thing happened. We can't undo it. Is there a way to be like strategic moving forward to recognize what was not working for us here in the Asheville area and do better moving forward or figure out a better like way to move this forward or fix this? Because I don't know about you, but the idea of fixing something that was already broken, that just makes no sense to my,
Yeah.
but I
I
don't know
don't,
how to do that.
yeah, I don't know that we're gonna fix all the brokenness. I
Oh no.
mean, I think what's interesting about this moment is it
Mhm.
feels like it's happening on the like at this on the land in within a landscape of so much other kinds of disruption.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of shit going on in the world right
yeah,
now.
right, right. So like, I mean, when someone says to me, this we're gonna do this for long term recovery, I'm just like, is that Helene related? Because like, how do we
True.
separate those things out? At some point, Helene's impact, like there was a kind of the honeymoon moments months afterwards in which, I mean, really when everyone was lacking, when there was no water and no
Water,
energy, right?
electricity, Wi-Fi. Yep.
Right. Like everything kind of honed in. And it's interesting because I think all of the power in the future comes local. Adrienne Marie Brown's kind of stuff is from emergent strategy talks about the kind of fractals and this idea that what happens at the larger level has to happen at the smaller level. So if we are ever going to disrupt the systems at the larger level, we're going to need to shift how we do it at the local level, how we understand things. In this current state specific to our own city, I'm not sure that I feel like people in leadership are looking to disrupt the way things were. I think they're trying to get just back to what was a system that didn't wasn't really working for everybody anyway.
But everybody knew it, expects it, knows how to handle it. It's like the person who starts walking and loses weight and gets healthy and their asthma is better. And then a year later, they go back to their old unhealthy patterns because it's just got normed.
Yeah.
So, how do we remind ourselves not to do that? And I'm just kind of putting it out there in the atmosphere and expect you to have all the answers. But I
Yeah.
think it's a good question. Sometimes I think just having the right question helps, not
Mm.
necessarily that you know the answer yet.
Yeah. Well, it's
Um,
interesting because some of the work that I have done was trying to, like, I'm in the midst of getting a certification for something called the Blueprint of We. And it's at the
oh,
bottom of my
okay.
email. But it's through collaborative awareness, which is there's a couple out of Fairview, but one of the not Fairview, Fletcher. Okay,
Okay.
that's all wrong. That's
Okay.
Flat Rock. I had all the
Flat
F's.
rock. You
I've
had
said
the F.
every single all yeah, it's like a game here. I've said all the F's. What other F's can I get in here? Franklin. No,
There you
it's
go.
Flat Rock. They live in Flat Rock.
Okay.
And one of the things they would say is that we don't ever solution
Mhm.
oriented thinking is not actually the way to get to anything creative.
Oh, that's true.
So like
That is true.
the second we're solving a problem, we've shut down the creative capacities in
Yeah.
our
We're not
neural pathways.
curious. We're not exploring. We're not sitting there being uncomfortable, recognizing that it's okay not to know the solution.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. But
So I mean,
don't
I
like
think
to be uncomfortable.
well, and people who are on the other end of people in leadership want solutions,
Yes, they
right? We
do.
want things solved. We
Yeah.
want there to be tourists so that we can have money spent in our restaurants so that our workers are able to sustain themselves. And so then we backtrack it to panhandlers and right? Like
Mhm.
that's the thing that's jeopardizing all of this. How do
Yeah.
we, like,
We
we got to
find that
solve that
one
problem.
thing,
And,
and we can hyper focus on that.
yeah, so it's like it's interesting how we fail to live in our imagination. And I'm really interested in the spaces of imagination right now. I um, had a recommendation of this book from a Princeton professor, Ruha Benjamin, yeah, called Imagination, a Manifesto. But I thought their work
I
is
haven't
really,
heard of it.
yeah, really powerful because it talks about the importance of um, how we sort of disrupt a world that's largely been unsustainable before Helene.
And this certification, the
Mhm.
certification, can
Yeah,
you explain that though?
sure. This
And
is
it's
a
people in
process.
Fletcher,
Flat Rock.
Flat Rock. Ah, I'm doing it.
It's part of a larger. They are part of a kind of their work is part of something called collaborative awareness.
Okay.
But what they acknowledge is that you can have a bunch of very self-aware humans in a room, and they can also not be able to achieve much together.
Yep.
And that
In there.
in order to be in order to be um,
Creative.
creative, forward thinking, moving into the thing you're dreaming about. You have to have set the stage for people to bring that awareness into a collaboration. Be aware of the we that we create when we're together, not just the me that I bring in. So some of that is through a process called creating these blueprints. There are individual blueprints that are the blueprint of me, or Aaron would make the blueprint of
Mm-hmm.
Aaron. And it's a process that you start, that you sort of tell the story of you. You tell the story. You think about the what your core values are. You then think about what are ways that you can get to peace and possibility, like because what happens is we often get to a sticking point, and when we are in tension, then our capacity to move out of that tension, right, is can be helped by others. So let's assume that we're going to get to a space where we're not going to be able to bring the very best of who we are. And part of the work is like identifying what a good day looks like for you, and what are things that someone could help you um, with that would then move you into a different space. So you create these questions for peace and possibility that sit on your blueprint, and then part of this is that people have access to it and kind of know a little about you. And it all stems from a reality that goes into, brain work that
Mm-hmm.
you'd be familiar with, right? We all sort of operate with two filing cabinets. That first filing cabinet is your generalizations, your stereotypes. It's what they call safety brain. And it's what
Yep.
we have long called the amygdala, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
that you are, and what they are, what they want us to move away from is this idea that safety brain is an enemy, right? Because safety brain is a safety brain,
Yeah,
right? It
no,
has
it serves
goodness.
a purpose. It can be
It's
very helpful
exactly right, and
when
um,
used intentionally and correct.
correct. But part of what leaves us in safety brain is that we aren't ever able to get to filing door two. And what's in filing door two are all the real stories about the person. And what if you provided some of those stories in advance? Like one of the things on my blueprint says that I'm a really intense person and my thinking face is very intense. And it will make you think that I'm upset, but I'm not upset. I'm thinking. And and so then when people read that, instead of defaulting to the, oh my gosh, she's angry at me, whatever story that gets made up
The
in the
narrative that they make.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They have a capacity to receive my idiosyncrasies
A different
and not
interpretation of
create a whole
what's going
story
on.
out of it. right? Not have their safety brain go up, but have their like they're taking out of the second filing cabinet and they already know about me,
But
right?
they are able to do that work because you were uncomfortable, vulnerable, and shared first, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that. Very enlightening. Thank you to my listeners for tuning in to Notes to My Nervous System. As we wrap up this conversation, I just want to pause and take a breath with you. What we've been talking about, whether it's recovery, resilience, or making it through the everyday chaos, it isn't something you can just solve in one sitting, in one episode. It's something we live into step by step. So let's take what we've learned here and carry it forward together.